The auto show season kicked off last fall in Paris, bounced all over the map, and wraps up right here in New York. Whether it's hot sports cars, family-friendly SUVs, or affordable hatchbacks, these are our picks from the New York Auto Show. And just remember, if there's anything that really catches your attention, head on over to Edmunds.com for more information. Let's hit the show floor.
If you had trouble keeping Cadillac sedans straight back in the days of ATS, CTS, and XTS, you'll be happy to meet the CT5, which is replacing all of them. The CT5 is available in 3 trims and 2 engine combos, a Turbo 4 and a Turbo 6. All-wheel drive is an option and rear-wheel drive is standard. It should do decent burnouts if you're so gauche as to do burnouts in a Cadillac, which I totally am. Inside, the CT5 is roomy, especially in the back, offering 2.5 inches more legroom than the outgoing CTS. The CT5's size and power is appealing, and Cadillac's technology, like the AutoDrive Super Cruise, is impressive. We're really looking forward to getting behind the wheel and seeing how it drives. The Mazda CX-5 is number 2 on our list of most highly rated small SUVs, so you know that we like the platform. It's attractive and it's fun to drive. What makes this one special is what's under the hood. A 2.2-liter diesel engine. Finally, right? Mazda's been promising a diesel for almost 10 years. So if you've been waiting for that, you can be happy about this. Hopefully you'll still be happy when you hear that the diesel engine makes 168 horsepower and 290 pound-feet of torque, which is less than the 2.5-liter gas engine, which is also an option. Oh, but mileage, right? Well, the diesel gets 28 miles per gallon, which is better than the base engine, but only by a couple miles per gallon. If you're still entranced by the idea of a diesel CX-5, you can expect to pay more than $40,000 because the diesel is only available in the top-level signature trim. In the early days of auto shows, you could expect to see wild concept cars in every manufacturer's booth. They'd have these eye-catching paint jobs, futuristic styling, and really wacky interiors. The goal of these cars wasn't to make it to production, but rather to showcase the imagination and the talents of the engineering and design teams. Recently, that kind of show car has sort of fallen out of fashion. Usually when you see a concept car at an auto show these days, it's way more conservative, a lot closer to what you're going to see in the production car. That's why we're so excited to see the Genesis Mint here in New York. Look at it, it's like a little spaceship. It's got this cool semi-matte pearl green paint job. It looks like it could fly, and it's got a cool bench seat inside. It's definitely not going to make it to production. Genesis says no plans to even try and make it a production car that you could buy. It's just here as an exercise in imagination and design. It's inspiring. Well done, Genesis.
Behind me is the all-new 2020 Subaru Outback. It's redesigned, it's got new headlights, taillights, a wider grille, a little bit more cargo space in the rear, and 2 new engines under the hood. It's got a 2.5-liter 4-cylinder, which is the Boxer engine, the base engine, as well as an optional turbocharged 2.4-liter motor. Now that engine replaces the old 3.6-liter engine, and it gets an upgrade of about 30 pound-feet of torque. On the inside, you get all sorts of standard and optional safety features as a part of the Subaru EyeSight suite, as well as an optional 11.6-inch kind of tablet-sized touchscreen. We like everything about the old model, and we're excited to take this one out, test drive it, and give you a full review. Behind me is the 2020 Mercedes-Benz A-Class, and in this case, it's the A35. That's the AMG version. Under the hood, it gets a 2-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder engine that puts out 302 horsepower and 295 pound-feet of torque. The standard A-Class already won our Editor's Choice Award for Best Entry-Level Luxury Vehicle. And how can you improve on that? Well, add a little bit more horsepower. This is the new CLA, and much like the A-Class next to it, it gets the new 2-liter turbocharged engine under the hood. It's the CLA AMG 35. It also gets the M-Buck system on the inside, those 2 big improvements, which is good on a vehicle that wasn't exactly our favorite in the entry-level luxury class. Now it really does compete with its A-Class sibling. The Mercedes-Benz GLC is refreshed for 2020, and while I might sound like a broken record, surprise, it gets M-Bucks on the inside. Now it uses a little bit smaller screen than some of its Mercedes siblings, but we still love that system. Under the hood of the base GLC, you get a 2-liter 4-cylinder turbocharged engine that's a lot like the old 2-liter 4-cylinder turbocharged engine, but under the hood of this one, the GLC 63S, you get 503 horsepower and 516 pound-feet of torque out of a twin turbocharged V8. That is certainly enough to get your kids to school on time if you're running late in the morning. The Mercedes-Benz GLS is their big S-Class of SUVs, and it's redesigned for 2020. Under the hood, you get a choice of two engines, an inline-six or a V8, both of which are paired with Mercedes' mild hybrid 48-volt system, or EQ Boost as they call it. And what that does is add a little bit of power, a ton of torque, and it fills in those gaps between gear changes and helps down low. That system, paired with Mercedes M-Bucks, is one of the things that makes this a technological marvel of an SUV. And on the inside, it's super classy. It's luxurious, it's plush, and it's one of our favorite places to spend some time in.
There's an all-new Toyota Yaris. Sorta? Actually, like the sedan, it's based on the Mazda 2, and that's actually a good thing because it's going to have sharper driving dynamics than the previous Toyota-built generation. It is 6 inches longer than the last generation, which is increasing cargo capacity to almost 16 cubic feet. That's just a little bit less than the Honda Fit and Kia Rio, but it makes it up with 40 miles per gallon combined. That handily beats the Honda and the Kia. The interior is elegantly simple, and it has one of the easiest to use infotainment systems out there. Apple CarPlay and Android Auto are also available. We don't have exact pricing yet, but we expect it to drop just below $20,000 when it goes on sale this fall. From James Dean to Kelly McGillis in Top Gun, the Porsche Speedster has always held a special place in my heart. This is the all-new 2019 Porsche 911 Speedster. The 502 horsepower GT3-derived engine shrieks to 9,000 RPM. And here's the kicker, it's only offered with a 6-speed manual. Yeah! Porsche estimates it'll hit 60 miles an hour in only 3.8 seconds on its way to 192 mile an hour top speed. Prices? Well, they start at $275,000, and that's if you're lucky enough to get one of the 1,948 examples that they're going to make. Can you say Edmunds long-termer? I can't, because I'll probably get fired. But please say it, because I want one. Please? Hyundai rolled out yet another crossover. This time it's the 2020 Venue. This fun-sized little ute is about the size of a Ford EcoSport. Unlike the EcoSport though, the cargo space is somewhat limited at only 31.9 cubic feet. Under the hood is a 121 horsepower 4-cylinder engine that should return 30 miles per gallon combined. It is only going to be offered as front-wheel drive, but get this, there is an option for a 6-speed manual. But let's face facts, you're probably going to go with the CVT. You'll have a fun palette of colors to choose from, and on the inside, you can even get denim upholstery. Expect to see the Venue show up at dealerships at the end of the year for around $18,000 starting. As with any Hyundai, we also expect it to have a lot of features for that price. Is it just me, or does the Hyundai Sonata go through more costume changes than Lady Gaga? For 2020, it gets a full redesign again. This time it is 1 inch shorter, 1 inch wider, and 2 inches longer than the previous generation. Of course, no car maker today can resist the phrase coupe-like styling, despite its effect on rear seat headroom. You have a choice of 2 4-cylinder engines, a 191 horsepower and a turbocharged 180 horsepower that has a whole lot more torque. Styling is the big thing about this Sonata, and you can take or leave some of the bits, but I do really like these accent lights that go under the headlight and over the hood. Interior styling is far less polarizing. It's simple, it's refined, it has really nice materials for the class, and there's this massive 10.25-inch touchscreen. Prices will start just above $23,000 and they'll show up in dealerships this October.
The 2020 Ford Escape is hugely important for the company, especially with their small and mid-sized cars taking a bow. While the Escape's new look has received a mixed response around our office, it's hard to argue that with this redesign, Ford has made their small SUV much more competitive. With a new standard 8-inch touchscreen infotainment system, standard active safety features, an optional head-up display, and digital gauge cluster, the Escape has certainly advanced on the tech front. Interior space is flexible with a rear seat that slides fore and aft 6 inches to allow for more passenger space or cargo room. With the seat all the way back, you get a ton of legroom. The standard 1.5-liter engine continues to make about the same power at 180 horsepower, but it loses a cylinder. That's right, it's a three-banger. That should pay dividends in terms of fuel economy, but we're very interested to get behind the wheel and see how this new engine handles on the road. The 2020 Lincoln Corsair is based on the Ford Escape we just looked at, but Lincoln has done a lot of work to take it more upmarket. They've added extra technology features, including the ability to use your phone as a key. The Lincoln Corsair also starts with the most powerful engine the Escape has to offer and moves up from there. If you'd like to find out more about the Lincoln Corsair, make sure to watch our full first look video. The Kia Stinger is already a great car to drive, but Kia decided they could make it even more fun. To do that, they produced the limited edition 2019 Stinger GTS. What they've done with this car is remove the active differential from the back and replace it with a mechanical limited slip differential. Then they added a drift mode, which means that even if you get all-wheel drive, you can still kick the tail out on demand anytime you want. Beyond the mechanical differences, the Kia Stinger GTS gets this bright orange paint and a synthetic suede interior. It's also limited to just 800 examples. Okay, this is a bit of a nerdy one. Acura is trying to raise awareness of their performance manufacturing center in Ohio, where they hand build the NSX supercar. In order to do that, they have produced a limited run of TLX PMC edition cars. These cars are hand assembled at the PMC facility and painted a unique red color that is otherwise only available on the NSX. The TLX is a pretty fun car to drive, especially with the 290 horsepower V6 engine and an A-Spec trim, but it's up against some really stiff competition in its segment. If they were going to go to the trouble to hand assemble a limited run of these at a performance manufacturing center, we kind of hoped they would have fiddled with the mechanicals just a little. Still, if you're in the market for a solid car with an interesting story, the TLX PMC edition is a unique offering.
That's it from the New York Auto Show. It's been a crazy auto show season. Thanks for hanging out with us. We should be back at it in September from Frankfurt, Germany. Until then, auf Wiedersehen, baby.